It stands 12 feet tall, with razor-sharp claws. His hide littered with the weapons of fallen warriors. His face scarred with one dead eye. I drew my sword and...
Chomp! Dad's leg was clean off!
Oh, that's my favorite part.
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. Everyone is here. It's fantastic.
It's exciting.
Alonso, Matt, Christy,
we
Ben.
must all be on summer vacation.
Totally.
You look very summery today.
Exactly.
And some interesting splits on the movies. Some people like the movies. Some people hate it.
I hate everything. I'm in a really bad mood this week, as Ben points out.
Yeah, what is it you like to say? You hate laughter and fun.
I hate laughter, love, and Def Leppard, yes.
And I take the most, sort of the dullest in the middle stand anyone can take.
And the most coffee breaks.
I come out weak. That's right. Yeah. All right, so let's start with Brave, Pixar's new movie, and a split among critics. But you tell us about it, Alonso.
So yeah, this is a Disney cartoon that is about a princess who is not defined by her prince and who has two living parents, which I think may be unprecedented in the entire annals of Disney animation. It's Pixar's latest. It's set in Scotland, and Kelly MacDonald from Boardwalk Empire and Trainspotting is the voice of Merida, who is an archer and a very capable young woman who is being groomed by her mother, voiced by Emma Thompson, to become a princess and marry one of the firstborns from one of the other clans to keep the peace. Merida is not down with it. Take a look.
In accordance with our laws, the firstborn of each of the great leaders must prove their worth. Merida, stop! A lady enjoys elegant pursuits.
I present my only son. He took out a whole armada single-handedly. He was... With one arm, he was steering the ship.
I want my freedom.
But are you willing to pay the price your freedom will cost?
Careful what you wish for, my mother would say.
What's the worst that could happen? No more fighting! Show a little decorum!
Feast your eyes.
If you had the chance to change your fate, would you?
You were more jazzed about this than many critics, but Matt and I, we saw it last night, and we were talking that initially there was this sort of negative rush about it that seems to be changing. Like it's Brave is rallying.
It seems to be rallying on the tomato meter. It's 79% at the moment. It started off almost rotten, and I was wondering if there was a little bit of kind of people gunning for it the way they had for Cars 2, like maybe expecting that Pixar's kind of lost their mojo. But
Do you think people were gunning for Cars 2, or do you think Cars 2 just blew?
No, I think Cars 2 just blew, but I think that there may have been almost a feeling like
there was
they dropped the ball
resentment
before.
from Cars.
Yeah, exactly. Like they dropped the ball, maybe they've completely lost it. I think some people were maybe a little overly harsh on this, which we'll get to. But it seems to be rallying, and the score's going back up.
Yeah, and you loved it.
I loved it. I thought it was exciting. I thought these characters were really interesting. I liked the fact that this is a young woman who is a very sort of self-identified. It's not about pining for the man that's going to come, make her life fulfilled. It's about a mother-daughter relationship, which we don't get a lot in these movies. And it's about, I don't know, she learns to be independent, but at the same time to sort of honor her family, to sort of respect the obligations that have been placed upon her. But she doesn't have to give up herself, and it's not about her being wrong, and it's not about the mother being wrong either. It's about sort of the two of them having to learn to meet in the middle. And he goes into areas that I thought were really funny, which apparently are a spoiler. I talked about them in my review of The Wrap, and people were like, "Oh, it's a spoiler."
No, let's not mention them.
I don't think it's a spoiler, but I won't talk about it here. But anyway, I think it's a very funny movie. Visually, some of the most beautiful stuff I've ever seen in a Pixar or anybody else's cartoon. I mean, there are moments that almost seemed photorealistic. They were so incredibly well done. I think it's a great movie. I think it is one of the rare movies that you should take your daughter to, by all means, because This is not a movie that's going to have her just wanting to wear crinolines and wait to be whisked off, by some dude. This is sort of like the Hunger Games for 8-year-olds. She's going to want to learn how to shoot a bow and arrow.
Is it weird if I thought she was hot?
Her hair is so
Yes.
pretty.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to like roll around in her hair and take a little nap in it. It looks so nice.
Her hair had
It
its
is-
own team of animators.
It is so, no, the movie is so beautiful. And if it had held up its promise at the beginning, right? You have the strong, badass female character. Finally, there's a strong female at the center of a Pixar film, right? And the beginning of it is thrilling. The whole first thundering ride on her steed, and she's hitting all her targets expertly and not missing a beat. It's so much fun. The thing that is the spoiler ruins everything, and it all goes downhill from there. It becomes so slapsticky and so silly and so infantile and easy.
But no.
And it doesn't have to be easy.
All
It could have been
all that stuff
challenging.
underscores the actual conflict of the film.
You don't need to have what happens happen to have the conflict. It's a really easy kind of physical comedy thing that they do, and the whole movie goes downhill from there.
I totally disagree. I mean, I agree you don't have to do it, but I think doing it doesn't negate what the movie sets up.
No,
I think
it's two different movies.
No, not at all.
I'm
Not
sure
at
we
all.
saw
I
the
think
same
it. I think it totally. I think
I'm not sure what movie you saw.
I think it accentuates what the movie has set up, and it brings all those issues to the fore and gives them, kind of a ticking clock, if you will, that they have to sort of be resolved and quickly. But I think it totally fits in the theme of what the movie was setting up and where it was going.
No, and then your whole ticking clock thing is really overly complicated. Like the mythology of what has to happen in order for it to undo itself is really
I thought
complicated.
I thought the ticking clock part was. I didn't think it was complicated. I thought it was so simplistic and silly that I didn't care. I didn't even get any drama with it at the moment where we're supposed to get drama about the spoiler alert that we're not talking about. I largely agree with Christy, although I think she's, I think you're, acting like a crazy girl.
Having my
right?
period,
Women,
clearly.
right? It's no.
Right, so wait 2 weeks and review this.
I thought it got.
Why do I feel so good right now? I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all right. No, I thought it got silly at that point, and I thought it became a movie for 8-year-olds, and that's it at that point. A good movie for 8-year-olds, and one that you should take your daughter to, but you're going to be bored.
No.
Here's the thing. I like this movie, and I think I don't agree with you. I think that we set up what we get is a story where Merida screws up badly, and then she's got to fix it. And it's not.
I didn't know what her name was until halfway through the movie.
Merida.
She screws up really badly, and she's got to fix it. And what I like is that it wasn't where they could have gone, and where has become a cliche. It's not a girl trying to, do better than the men in a man's world.
Although she does best them at her sport.
She does best them at her sport, but she's. It's not very much like, oh, I'm just as good as a man. It's more about taking control of her own life, and I liked that. It's
fate.
It was not a cartoon about somebody learning to believe in themselves, because God knows we've seen that enough
Right,
times.
she already does believe in
Yes,
herself.
absolutely.
Right.
Here, let me put this to you, and this is hard to talk about without talking about the thing that we're not talking about. The resolution that finally has to happen, I would argue, means that Merida has to embrace both her masculine and feminine sides in a certain way. And I think that's kind of a cool resolution. I don't think a Disney movie would ever make a male hero do that, but nonetheless, I think that it allows her to sort of bring both of those halves together without ever negating her ability or her stubbornness or any of her skills or the way that she's chosen to live her life. And that's why I really like this movie.
The emotion that they aim for in those final moments is not earned.
Yeah, I didn't feel. I didn't feel anything.
Because it's so slapsticky and so silly leading up to that.
Yeah,
you are
It isn't
hot.
working.
I'm
No,
sorry.
I will
This
say
is a
that-
really good movie.
Now, Ben and I talked about this. I don't feel that this movie is as emotionally engaging, as there's this movie. I never got close to crying.
Nope.
Right. Whereas you watch the first few minutes of
forget
and,
it.
Land
Yes.
of Toy
20
Story
minutes of
3,
Toy Story 3.
right?
Yes,
and
yes.
kind of the end of
Granted,
Wall-E,
I got a little misty on this one, but not nearly as gutted as other Pixar movies. But the other stuff I was so into, and I was so glad of the directions they were going in with this, both in terms of the storytelling and in terms of the visuals, that
You should.
The story is just not there compared to the standard we know from Pixar. Go ahead.
Every young girl will love this movie.
And
every young
kids
girl
will
will
love
love
it. It's
this.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's
and
beautiful.
It's
It's really
lively.
beautiful.
But yeah, kids will like it. But I think adults will feel like unsatisfied, dissatisfied, not that
Adults,
satisfied.
adults will leave angry, bitter, and a little bitchy. Apparently.
Apparently,
If their name is Christy.
Right. No, actually, as a woman and as a mom, I am thrilled that there is a movie about a strong girl from Pixar finally, and the beginning is exciting and doesn't live up to that.
All right, what did you give it?
What did I give it?
4.5.
4.5.
8.
I give it a 7. I didn't love it as much, but I liked it.
I gave it 5.5. It's better than average. It's okay. It's fine. It's
Way to
dull.
take a stand, Ben.
Yeah, that's me.
So-
6.3 overall is our number on Brave.
But it's at 79% in Tomatoland.
And rising.
But
And
that's
rising.
still not as high as most Pixar movies tend to be.
True.
Correct?
Yes.
Rotten Tomato Man?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless they have cars in the
Right,
title.
unless they're Cars movies.
Bye.